the Bucking Fit Life community. Team, hey, I want to dive right in, but first of all, just want to thank you all for being here. This has been a question that has been brought to my attention a lot, one that I have a lot of opinions on. So if you want to weigh in, ask some questions. But I'm really excited to be talking to you all today about mobility versus flexibility, because both, we could all argue, are very important, right? I mean, you want to be mobile, you want to be able to move your body, but you also want to be flexible and be able to access deeper ranges of motion. And so, one of the things that we need to just kind of break down is, well, what is mobility and what is flexibility? And in the very, very short term, very easy to understand way, mobility is your active range of motion, or basically what I can do with my body in a more controlled manner where I can access my own range of motion. So say you raise up a leg and I can control it. That is my mobility. Now, say someone's like, all right, relax. Here, I'm going to take your heel and I'm going to bring your leg all the way up. That is passive range of motion or flexibility. The two are not the same. Just because you are super flexible does not mean that you are able to be strong and stable in those positions or mobile in those positions. And what we have is called a motor control gap. And that is the difference between our active range of motion, let's say it's here, and our passive range of motion. Let's say that's there. So if the two have a degree angle, about that much difference, let's just go with me on this. That's where your motor control gap is. That's where the majority of injuries occur. So a lot of times when people have injuries already, predisposed, like they're already having them, the goal then should not be to stretch, to get more flexible, to increase that motor control gap. That should not be the goal. That is my expert opinion. Should not happen. With my clients, what I have them do instead is learn how to be more stable and strong in their active range of motion, in their mobility. And that allows their flexibility not only to increase, but to also get them stronger in positions where they need to be strong. So when you think about it like this, a square is not is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. The same is true of increasing your mobility or improving your mobility will improve your flexibility. It just will. It inevitably will. The more active range of motion I have, the more access I have to passive range of motion. The inverse is not true. If I'm just like, hey, I just need to stretch more, I just need to get way back here more, what's the point of having more range of motion if you can't do anything with it? It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. I've spoken with dancers who are hypermobile. I've spoken with martial artists who are wicked flexible. I've spoken with athletes. I've spoken with experts. What is the point of having more range of motion if you can't do anything with it? It just doesn't make sense, right? So mobility is more important than flexibility, because if I cannot do anything with my range of motion, what good is being flexible? What good is accessing greater ranges of motion and increasing my motor control gap that only promotes a greater range of motion where I can get injured? I have a couple clients who are so hypermobile. It's unreal. And what they tell, well, I got this thing going on in my back or my hip or my knee. Because look, let's face it, you're not going to be uninjured forever. However, knowing how to get out of pain is a very, very useful tool. And that's what I am able to teach my clients in my community on, hey, let's get you out of pain. Some days you're just not going to sleep well. Some days you're just going to have a little knee pain. Some days your torn hamstring from 3 years ago is going to act up, and you probably want to know how to get out of that. So when I've spoken to these clients, it's like, look, we want to make sure that we are proactively preventing injuries rather than doing the old, I'll just wait till it happens and then rehab and go through physical therapy and then inevitably come find me on the other side of it. And it's like, oh, okay, I should probably just do this ahead of time, and then that way I'd never need to go to physical therapy. That's the hope, obviously. But when that happens, when these clients are in positions where it's like, man, I'm just struggling, what I have them do is like, okay, where do you have range of motion to? Where can you actually control your body? Okay. So we want to think about it like that. Like, where can I actually control? Let's just take the shoulder, for instance. I see a lot of shoulder injuries. Honestly, they're becoming more and more common. Typically, the most common is the lower back. But because we live in a society where we're here all the time on our phones, typing away at the computer, our shoulders round forward. We're seeing more and more shoulder injuries all the damn time. So let's just say with a shoulder, if I'm right here and this just hurts, oh my gosh, this is 5 out of 10 pain on the pain scale. Like, oh my gosh, I just can't lift it up higher. Cool. Don't go into pain. Please, for the love of God, if you have pain, don't try and go into more pain. Well, no. I can just push through it. I can push through it. Like, no, stop it. This isn't a pride game. Your central nervous system is literally saying, hey, dude, chica, whomever, person, stop. This hurts. Don't do it. Don't make a bad problem worse. Okay? So if this hurts, okay, then only go to there. Then bring your shoulder back down, bring your arm back down, and then go back up into it and try and get some mobility. If you have a rusty bike chain, you put a little grease on it and try and spin those wheels just nice and easy. You don't start cranking on the bike. Your body's no different. Your body is not a machine. It needs to be handled with much more care than a rusty bicycle chain. However, with this analogy, you put a little grease on the chain. I start moving my arm just a little bit, just enough, just a little bit. Okay. And then it's like, okay, you know what? I think I got up a little bit farther. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm feeling my back engage a little bit more. Oh, hey, I'm actually able to kind of move through this. And then, all right, let's say here, you know what, Tyler, I just can't go higher. Okay, great. Then I want you to come back to where you had that difficulty, where you had that pain, and squeeze. Hold this position. Don't let your arm go forward. So that my people can see this. Don't let your arm go forward. Don't let it go back. Don't let it go in or out. Think about your body from a structural integrity standpoint, being able to maintain 360 degrees of pressure. So I'm going to hold this position here and not move. Don't move. Just don't move. Now, obviously, don't squeeze so much that you cause pain, but squeeze enough to where it's like, hey, if someone was to give you some pressure, you're not going anywhere. Okay? So just a little bit, and then relax. Let your arm hang out. I didn't realize I was raising my arm that long. Let your arm go, and then maybe after 30 seconds, maybe after a minute, go back into it. When I have done this with my clients, we have noticed markedly improvements on their range of motion, on their mobility. Because once my mobility is heightened, my flexibility is that much easier to access. But if I do not have mobility, my flexibility doesn't mean a damn thing. It does not matter how stretchy you are or how hypermobile you are. If you can't do anything in those positions, well, what's the damn point? You tell me. If you know why, you tell me, because it does not make sense to have greater range of motion if I can't do something with it. Okay? So, for yourself, whether it's a knee, whether it's a hip, whether it's your back, whether it's your arm, your chest, it does not matter. Please don't go into pain. Okay? That's first and foremost. No pain, no gain is the dumbest thing ever. Absolutely dumbest thing ever. It's so stupid. Now, there's a very big difference between pain and soreness, and that's where we need to be able to decipher, like, oh, is this my body saying, like, hey, for the love of God, please don't do this? Or is it saying, ow, 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 ow? Those two are very different. Like, my clients will do bear crawls across the gym. Yeah, for the love of God, please let this stop. That's that. But when it's, ow, ow, That's pain. We don't want that. Okay. So go in your own range of motion. Make it easy. Make it so easy. Okay. Once it's easy, then we can begin to add on. Then maybe we add some weight, or maybe we add a little bit more range of motion, or maybe we just hold and stabilize that position. I don't know if you know this, but our arms are heavy. Like, hold your arm out for a whole 5 minutes. Don't move your arm for a whole 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. I guarantee you, your arm will feel so heavy. We got bones in there, okay? Our arms are wickedly heavy. Manipulate how your body, the lever system in your body, because we got to use physics here. Manipulate what it's doing, and you can access not only greater ranges of motion, but greater challenges in structural integrity and stability. That type of training will not only make your joints, tendons, and ligaments strong, and muscles stronger, but also you will become more resilient. You will be able to access greater ranges of motion actively, which will then open them up passively, so that your mobility heightens your flexibility. Again, the inverse is not true. So for your training, whatever it is, maybe you're having, maybe you're in a big strength season right now. Maybe you're in a power season. It doesn't really matter. Every now and then you got to do some active recovery. Every now and then you need to, well, just rest. Think about mobilizing your body. Stretching is wonderful. Stretching is wonderful. But research is showing that loaded stretching, aka doing movements with weight, or, well, we could just call that mobility, can improve your flexibility with far greater results than static stretching alone. Pick up a weight, move it through space, move your body through space, access better ranges of motion in strength and stability, because that's what's going to improve your mobility. Okay. So if any of you have questions, please shoot me a line, hit me up in the comments. I don't care. But that is the answer. Mobility is far greater than flexibility, bar none. Because again, the more mobility I have, the more flexibility I have. So there you go. There's your answer. Bam. Knowledge. Maybe. I don't know. No, it is knowledge, but just there, dropping the mic. Instagram, how we doing? Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody on YouTube and Facebook, all the things. I got lights all up in my face. I'm done being an expert. Now I'm just a person. Well, I'm just always going to be a person, I hope. I wouldn't like to be a robot. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right, team. Well, I'm bouncing. Good chatting. Y'all have a great one. Improve your mobility. Stay out of pain. Get strong in compromising positions. Get better. Stay tuned for the Bucking Fit Life, because we have a lot of this training coming up, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. All right. I'm bouncing. You all have a great day. We will see you on the next one. Stay tuned for Thursday's live videos. This is going to be a new thing, and we got some experts joining us soon that are going to take us up several notches. It's going to be pretty dope. All right, team.